Hello friends, this video on gender part 3 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Now let's move on to the fourth category, which is neuter gender. What is neuter? The word neuter is somewhat similar to the word neutral, right? So it denotes something that is neither male nor female. Okay, now please understand the difference between common gender and neuter gender. Common gender means the word could represent either a male or a female. For example, parent. Parent could be a male parent, parent could also be a female parent. Now, when we talk about neuter gender, we are basically talking about words which doesn't fall under the category of male or female. So basically, these words do not have gender. We can think about it in this way. Now, what are those words we are talking about? Can you think of words basically nouns? Can you think of nouns which doesn't have this male-female concept? Absolutely. We are here talking about the non-living things. So, the non-living things will fall under this category. Now, think of a building. So, what do you think? Is building male or female? It is none of these. So it is neither a male building nor a female building. So building is neuter gender. Similarly, if you talk about a tree. So tree again is neither a male nor a female. So tree again is a neuter gender. You talk about a river. So river again is a neuter gender. You talk about a city, which again is a neuter gender. So most of the non-living things. Now here you might object me saying that tree is not non-living. Absolutely correct. Tree is a living thing. But in this case, what I meant was most of the non-living things in terms of things which are immobile, or you can say that the most of the non-living things and the trees which are considered as objects because they kind of do not move from one place to another. Right? So most of these kind of things which we can objectify, like all the nouns, especially persons, animals, all of them fall under the category of masculine or feminine gender. But when you talk about objects or things, they mostly fall under the category of neuter gender, wherein we do not classify them as male or female. Now, how does it matter? Now, when we classify something as masculine gender, when we tell or write something about that particular thing, we use he, right? For example, if I say that man, as I said that man is masculine gender. So, if I have to say that this man goes to office every day, he works with lot of honesty. So here we have used he because the man is a masculine gender. Whereas if I want to write the same thing for a female in this way, that this woman goes to office every day, she works with a lot of honesty. So here I have used she because the woman is a feminine gender. Now, if I have to use a neuter gender, for example, this city is very clean. It keeps its citizens happy. So here, since the city is a neuter gender, I have used it because I can neither use he nor she because it is neither male nor female. So for neuter gender, we normally use it, right? Okay, so that was the basic concept of all the four categories of gender: masculine, feminine, common, and neuter. So now that we were talking about the neuter gender, which talks about the objects or mostly the non-living things. Now, sometimes the objects are personified. What do we mean by personified? That means sometimes the objects are treated like persons. Now, what do I mean by that? Let us look at some examples. So, whenever a non-living object is personified, in that case, we obviously attach a gender to it because every person has a gender. So when we talk about persons, when we talk about people, when we talk about animals, they are obviously either male or female. Now if a non-living object is also personified, then the non-living object also gets attached to either masculine or feminine gender. Let me take this example, which will make it more clear. The nature protects her children. So here, if you look at the word nature, it is a neuter gender, right? Nature doesn't have a gender. Nature is neither male nor female. But in this case, we have used her, which shows that we have used nature as a feminine gender. Why? That's because here the nature is personified. The nature is treated as a person. The nature is treated like a mother, like how we say the mother protects her children. In a similar way, we are saying the nature protects her children. So the nature here is personified. Now, once nature is personified, there is a gender that is attached to the nature. So in this case, nature comes under the category of feminine gender. Now this happens only when nature is personified. Let's look at more examples. The sun shines with all his might. In this case again, we have personified the sun. Right? So sun as such is a neuter gender. It is neither male nor female. But we have personified it. We have written the statement in a way as if sun is a person and the sun is doing some work. And what is the work that the sun is doing? The sun is shining. The sun shines. The shines here is the verb. So the sun is like a person who is doing something, and the sun here is treated as a masculine gender. So it is because we have personified. So these are the examples where we have personified the nature, the sun. Let's look at one more example. The moon hides herself behind the clouds. So here, the moon again is considered as a feminine gender. Why? Because the moon here is also personified, as if moon is a person who is doing something, who is hiding herself behind the clouds. Now, when objects are personified, then objects like nature and moon, they fall under the category of feminine gender, whereas objects like sun falls under the category of masculine gender. So this is one exceptional case, because when you look at such examples, you might think that, okay, ma'am had told that objects are always neuter gender. So why are these objects treated as masculine or feminine gender? That's because the objects are personified here. So let us look at some examples of objects which when personified will fall under masculine or feminine gender. For example, objects like the sun, death, summer or winter, all of these will fall under the category of masculine gender, whereas objects like the moon, the nature, spring or autumn, they would fall under the category of feminine gender. Now this would happen only when all these objects are personified. Let us look at this example. Summer spreads his heat all over the earth. So here summer has been personified, and once personified, it falls under the category of masculine gender. So with summer we have used his, because it is masculine gender. Whereas if we have to tell something about spring or autumn, we would say spring spreads her greenery all around, because here spring is personified, and spring when personified falls under the category of feminine gender. So we have used her.
Thank you. Please visit examfear.com for free quality education. You can learn with a simple 4-step learning process wherein you can watch video lessons, you can ask your questions, you can refer notes, and you can take a free online test. We have content for class 6 to 12 on physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology along with practical videos. So please subscribe to our channel for daily updates. Thank you.